What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 game development live stream where we're working back on our gas cores project, a game built from scratch using Unreal Engine 5, C++, blueprints, the game ability system plugin, and all that good stuff. So today we're going to continue where we left off last time, which where we were working in our animation blueprint. We were trying to set up properly our character locomotion. And our character locomotion is split up in two different ways. We have strafe locomotion, and then we have forward-facing, orientation movement. And right now we're still just working on the strafe locomotion. So once my controller is recognized, hopefully it will at some point, we could do a classic plug-in and get plugged out again. There we go. But there's still some responsivity issues, and switching drastic sides and stuff like that. And I'm not sure if maybe it's due to how I'm handling, maybe it's acceleration, things like that. I'll have to kind of just see, investigate a little further. Additionally, we've been working on our melee combo, and I think 3 hits is maybe not enough. We were also able to fix that bug with the infinite loop. Sorry, that took too long to think about. And it was an issue with our wait, play montage and wait task. I'll also have to kind of see, because it seems like out of nowhere, my rotation is moving. Right, that looks fine. Oh, I'm not sure what could be kind of causing it on that last hit. I don't know why we moved to the right, and this, it's kind of moving to the right constantly. So there's a couple things we gotta fix. I think I first want to look at, it might be the acceleration or deceleration stuff. So I kind of want to first look at our player character just to kind of confirm what's kind of happening there, because I know I took a lot of the logic here, and I guess it's from this curve. So strafe, speed map, calculating direction and velocities. I don't know if I want to really do that anymore. I wonder if I can simply bypass this in a clean way, because I gotta see where I'm doing calculating move speed. I haven't looked at this in a long time. So on rep, on the move, yeah, and then we're setting the max speed here. So I wonder if I can simply bypass all of that and get more responsive movement. Kind of. We still get some twists. So that doesn't play too nicely, but might be because we need to add the starts and stops. But now I feel like maybe this is too fast. Or it's because the side speeds aren't slower, so maybe I do need to handle the calculate move speed. It's also on rep movement speed length, which is probably nonsense because I don't do multiplayer anymore. So we probably don't need to do that. It's been a hot minute since I've been doing this, so I think for the time being, I guess let's clean this up, honestly, because I think it's also on the player controller that I'm doing that, right? Maybe that's why. So that's the targeting stuff. So yeah, on move, that's where I'm doing update character movement. And then we're doing this. So I don't think, like... So I just wanted to get into vector length, and I don't know if I really need to do that. I don't think this needs to be replicated once, you know, for one. I don't think I need to be passing in length. It's like, what was it doing, actually? Let's get rid of some of the melee stuff here. On character base, let me just do a Control-Z a couple times. So we're doing movement length, and then movement length is on here. I'm passing it there. But movement length wasn't really being used in any sort of place, right? So we're setting it, and then we're doing for get desired gate. And so we don't really need to do gate anymore. That's more for the old system. So I think we can clean up a lot of this stuff. Let's just make some bold assumptions here. We'll calculate movement speed. We want to kind of keep, but yeah, here, like, I don't even think I need to do it within here. I think I could potentially move this to C++ for sure on character move, but for now, let's just kind of move things out into the character base, because I was doing stuff in the controller just because it was multiplayer. It was kind of stupid. Now we're not doing multiplayer. I don't want to do multiplayer, so we're going to try to clean this up. Now, we want to calculate move speed still. So untriggered, we want to do calculate movement speed. And then we can do, it has the character movement component, set movement speed, set walk speed. Do something like this. Now we have this mapping and everything, and I think this is okay. I don't care about the speed map particularly, but I think that should be still okay. Let's plug in. Now I'm getting the sides. Moving incredibly slow. Let's see what's wrong. Fine. So max walk speed by default is 500, so 5 meters per second. So let's do a quick string here. See what we're getting for our. We're getting 200. So why are we getting 200 a lot of the time? It could be the strafe mapping here. So walk speeds, run speeds. I'm not sure what the strafe. So we're selecting, is it crouching? No. Just okay. So the issue is with the character gate. So probably, I guess the gate was needed. I don't think it was needed. Let's just assume right now. Like none of this really. Let us Well, we want to assume, so there's the walk speed and strafe speed map. So maybe I can assume run for the moment. Yeah, maybe I goofed. So maybe I do need the gate. So let's do a quick. We gotta connect Perforce. I'll log in. Do a cheeky little revert here. I jumped the gun. And that's okay. Now I should be able to revert writable files. So what I should still be able to do is, rather than doing all this and then doing it on rep movement length, I should just be able to do this on, whoops, on input, not input event, but let's do a couple of copy pastas here. Going to work with, yeah, so enhanced input event. So there's a couple input events, but I don't know which one is which. So this is game input, gas course input, so this should be good. So under triggered, we should be able to do that at least. And what are we doing for calculating for the gate, honestly? It's like, so movement stick mode, variable speed. I don't know where that's being kind of calculated. Oh, it's been a minute. What can I, so get desired gate, movement length. Excuse me. So obviously I need to just bypass that, go like this. Get desired gate there, movement stick mode. Okay, so this is just an enum. We don't have to worry about it. So that's what it's doing. It's getting the length, checking it to see if it's with the walk threshold, and all that, and putting the gates in like that. Eventually I'll have to do something for sprints. Hey Trey, live. How's it going? It's going pretty good. Just trying to do a cleanup of our character controller and update our animations for our locomotion. It's been a hot minute since I worked on any of this, so it's kind of a mess. I'm trying to see what I can and can't delete, and what might need to be, moved out to code or somewhere else, But so far, so good. So good. So we got this going for me here. Hey, thanks for the follow, Seterex Gamer 71. Appreciate it. So now we have our guy moving around. Yeah, I think that's a good movement speed. But again, yeah, we gotta start looking into our starts and stops. Also, I want to make sure we have both forward and strafing blend space to kind of work with here. So I think, yeah, I think it's also in this. Yeah, there's update rotation that I disconnected, right? So if I just disconnect, if I connect this back up, for example, and I just play, does the current blend space work out of the box? Seems like it does. So it is too snappy, I think. Like there is no rotation rate in that. So I'm gonna have to see. Oh, we can fix that too. Because I think if so, once the strafe, no, and then there's the rotation rate is falling. Yeah, all right. So here is probably what the rotation rate issue is. So if I make this 200, just for the sake of example, Because I think a value of -1 means no rotation rate. Well, that's better, but yeah, I think it could be maybe twice as fast. We could maybe do 100. See how that feels, and then kind of move forward from there. So, sorry, 100's the wrong direction. 300. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Now we gotta really work into our starts and stops. And I kind of want to watch a YouTube tutorial on that stuff, just to make sure I'm going to go the right direction. And then once we do that, we'll have to look into... It seems like it's just picking like really random rotations. If we're looking at our motion warp debug, right, that looks good, that looks good, that looks good. But it seems like, yeah, now it's on the ground, now it's not on the ground, now it's like that. And then, now it's twisting this way for some reason. And I think the problem could potentially be how we're calculating the rotation. I think using when there's no target, for example, right? When we're saying no target. So if there's no vector thing, then we're getting the actor forward vector, which should be okay. I'm kind of confused on where the... Maybe it's the vector from target to owner. Maybe I need to do targets forward vector, for example. Let's just see if we get any kind of consistent results there. So far, yes. That wasn't consistent. It might be because of the way I'm curious if this cached input direction is causing problems. So let's just assume we don't care about input for a second. Obviously we do. But let's just see if we still get the inconsistent results. Because now when I don't move my stick or anything, I'm not going to be going into any other direction. Seems consistent, so I wonder, probably is a bug in my caching here. Let me always use the this vector. Let me just print it. And I'm literally not going to touch movement input. So that looks fucked up. Because it's 0, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna pass it in because yeah, when vector is nearly 0, we can't go anywhere, right? So it's printing out 0. Printing out 0. Seems all good. Now I'm gonna move around. We'll let go. Feels still good. See, now I'm randomly getting, like there, I got randomly 0.748, and still getting 748. So I don't know. Maybe something's wrong with my input function here. Yo, Patrick, what's up? Been a long time. It has been. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Keep it on, and working on this project. But making progress. We have a new melee combo. Yeah. But this cache thing is just not... like the cached input is not clearing. It seems been some weird behavior. So we're gonna have to fix that too. But one thing at a time. So let's go ahead and jump into this tutorial. We're just gonna briefly just kind of watch through it a little bit just to get the basic idea because we want to add start and stops. And I know we have to do it within our animation blueprint and make the state machine. So let's take a quick gander. I'll link the YouTube video as well in chat, so you guys can check it out if you want to follow along.
And once more, add another state, and we'll call this one stop run. And first, let's add transitions around like this. So from idle to start run to run, run to stop run, and stop run to idle.
Oh, quality just went to hell.
These 4 transitions will need a couple more, because if we are in, for example, the stop run state and playing the stop run animation, and then we press a key and we start running again, we will either want to go to the start run state and play that animation, or straight back into the run.
All right, so let's just follow along. I'm gonna have it playing on the side here. So, bye. So let's go into our animation blueprint. It's gonna be a little quiet with no music, but hopefully you guys will be okay with that. Where's our mesh? Mesh. Elf character. All Gucci. I'm also looking to making things thread safe and stuff like that, but one thing at a time, like usual. I don't want to get ahead of myself. So, we have all this nonsense. This is all motion matching stuff that we don't really want or need anymore. This is our bread and butter at the moment. So we need to create a new state machine, and I think do I have to right click the state machine? Yeah. State machine, and we'll do basic locomotion. So yeah, we have a state. So I think this state could be the start. This because like I don't have an explicit, like I guess I can have an explicit idle, but the blend space would also have the idle in it. But let's just follow it verbatim here, so I don't get lost and we can clean it up afterwards. So we have a combat idle, right? I can spell. We also have turns and places that I'm gonna have to remember and figure out how to do. So we have our idle. Then we have start run, or just start movement. Because like one of the main differences here that I'm gonna have is because I have like start walks and start runs. So I'm assuming I could just keep those all in the same blend space. Stay here. Movement. Stay here. That movement. In theory, I should be able to just go back to start movement, for example. But yeah, start movement, what I know that can be, and I should be able to get the same exact behavior now, is should be able to take this, go like this. I'm not sure if I can use these nodes inside of here. Looks like I can. Idle to start will never be taken. Please connect. So I guess I can take the has velocity thing. Yeah, let me see. This is start movement. That's not. How do I disconnect? Let's start with what we know, right? Has velocity, and then not. Do that. Let's go, yeah, phantom graph. We should be able to just simply take even just this. And then in our base locomotion, under movement, we could just grab that. Let's do that. Yeah, so in theory, there shouldn't be a difference. And that seems fine. Excuse me. So now we get to starts and stops. So
run state and start playing that animation, and we will set up these transitional rules in a moment. The other thing we want is also one from start run to stop run, and that's because if we've started running and this animation is not completed yet, and then we let go of the movement key, we want to also.
So right now you're here. Maybe you're hearing the YouTube video, but watch it on my other monitor here.
Just before we add these transitional rules, let's go ahead and drop the animations into these.
Yeah, because I'm curious how he's going to do the starts and stops. I'm wondering if it's a blend space or not.
Right here, we're going to look for our pistol jog forward start, and we'll drop this in here like so. Back out to the locomotion state machine, and we'll go into the run state. And here we want our pistol jog forward here in the D. In each of
so far, he's just doing one animation.
Starting to over this, no. When this click on this trend through, then we can click this transition and set it to automatic rule, and that should be absolutely fine. Now from start run to stop run, this one here, so a slightly different rule, boolean stop. So if we select this one and we hover over this, you'll see it says get the time as a fraction default and very high braking deceleration. So what we can do is we can go back to our third person character.
He's also making adjustments to the third person character.
Movement component. And basically what we're going to do is play with the max acceleration here and the braking, deceleration, walking down here. So I'm going to change the max acceleration to just something a little bit lower, like 1250. And I'm also going to change the braking, deceleration, walking to something much, much lower.
He's also adding time
dimension. A little bit easier to visualize. What we might do is go to the event graph, and I'm just going to find some empty space, and I'm going to set up a very quick and hacky way to basically give us some slow motion.
Oh, okay. I thought he was doing it for like the base implementation.
Now we can have a little run around. I'll full screen this, and I'm going to press tab to give me slow-mo. And we're basically just looking at how much the feet are sliding and also the blend between start run and stop running there. There's a little bit of foot sliding going on in the stop run, and I also suspect there's a bit of a blending problem between start run and run. And it doesn't look too bad, actually. It's a bit hard to tell.
Okay, so let's work with the assumption right now with a single animation, and we would have to evolve it probably to a blend space.
Idle and basically, if we head back to the new states, animation for the here, and if boolean is that's our in between. Infertile to start run transitions.
So yeah, let's work with it now. So we have start movement. movement. Stop movement. Idle.
Around these 4 transitions, we'll need a couple more, because if we are in, for example, the stop run state and playing the stop run animation, and then we press a key and we start running again, we will
Up
either
here.
want to go to the start run
Back
state
here.
and play that animation,
Makes
or
sense.
straight back into the run state and start playing that animation. And we will set up these transitional rules in a moment. The other thing we want is also one from start run to stop run. And that's because if we've started running and this animation is not completed yet, and then we let go of the movement key, we want to also be able to go straight into the stop run state. But just before we add these transitional rules, let's go ahead and drop the animations into these states. So double click on start run, and right here we're going to look for our pistol jog forward start, and we'll drop this in here like
We'll
so.
do run
Back out to the
start. So combat
machine,
start
go into the run
forward
state, and
0.
here we want our pistol jog forward. We'll plug this in here and make sure that this one is set to looping over here in the details panel. So check loop animation, and we'll back out and go to stop run and drop.
Again, I think these need to be blend spaces down the line.
Right here, and back out to the locomotion state machine. Now that those animations are in each of these states, let's start setting up these transition rules.
Well, maybe I would just need to have walk.
For starters, work our
Run.
way around the outside. So let's do idle to start run. And all idle to start run needs is the should move variable. So if should move is true, we should be able to transition from idle into starting to run. And then for start run to run, you can just single click on this transition, and we will use the automatic rule. So if you highlight this, if you hover over this, you'll see it says try setting the rule automatically based on most relevant asset player nodes remaining time and the automatic rule trigger time of the transition. So this basically means that when this animation is finished playing, we will transition into this state. If we select this transition and we check automatic rule,
Kitty behind me.
basically automatically happen when this animation is nearing the end. But the one thing we want to do here is give the blend settings a little bit of a longer duration, and we might need to play with this a little bit. But basically, because we're blending 2 different running animations and we want it to look nice and smooth, let's make this duration on the blend time here 0.5. We might need to play with this, we might need to make it a little bit longer, but let's try 0.5 for.
I do 0.35, it says 0.5.
To stop run, and this is just if should move is not true. So let's double click on this transition and we'll get our should move boolean. We'll get a not boolean. Plug this in here. So if should move is not true, then we can enter that transition. And from stop run to idle, once again, we can just click this transition and set it to automatic rule, and that should be absolutely fine. Now from start run to stop run, this one here, so if we've started running and this animation is still playing, and then we
Hey, Infinite Cortex memes, keep it up. I will try. Thank you.
Stop run animation. This once again is just should not move. So we'll double click this one, grab our should move and a not boolean, plug this in here, and that is good to go. Now the only 2 left are stop run to start run and stop run to run. And because these are basically equally likely, we need a slightly different rule for each of these. So what we can do is we can use our should move boolean. So if we're stopping running, obviously should move has been set to false. So if we start moving again, we're going to move into either start run or run. And what we can use to sort of dictate which one is taken is how much time remaining on the animation in our stop run state. So let's double click on this one here, and this is our stop run to start run rule. And what we can do is we can get our should move boolean, and we'll get an and boolean, plug this in here. And if we right click here, we can search for time remaining and find time remaining ratio, pistol jog forward stop. So if
Ratio.
we select this one and we hover over this, you'll see it says get the time as a fraction of the asset length of the animation. So basically, if this animation is starting, the ratio is 0, and if it's finished, the ratio is 1. So it's basically a fraction of the total length of that animation.
Hi, Devin. How's it going? Did you solve the infinite loop error, or still in the process to solve? I'm a bit late.
This is less than.
Good news. I solved it. It was a silly error on my part. Of course, it was my fault. So the issue that was happening is we have this play montage and wait for event. And what the issue was is this animation gameplay events was an empty gameplay tag container. And so what was happening is while the animation was playing, it was receiving all the different events. And so when it was receiving an event, it was sending the event again, and then it was receiving the event, sending it again, and all that stuff. So I added a check inside of the play montage and wait for event here to check if the event tags is empty or not before updating the handle and getting the delegate and everything. And then I also just made sure to add an actual gameplay event tag there for it. So now it works. We can view it. Let me spawn a guy. So now we're all good again. So wham, wham, wham. So yeah, silly issue on my behalf.
Something like 0.5, which is about halfway through the animation, and plug this in here. And just in case you want to fiddle with this amount, what we can do is promote this to a variable, and we'll call this something like time left to start running, something like that. So if we compile now, this should have a default value of whatever you put in here, so 0.5. Make sure this has.
Hey, Blindness, you need help? What's up?
So that you can just change.
You're tired?
Yeah. If you want to play around with this. So basically,
I think everyone's tired, man. Hope you're okay.
Animation is less than halfway through. Then
dude, I was so upset. You can't even imagine. Like, it was so frustrating. But yeah, then I had to think about it for a couple minutes, and then I figured it out. But it's one of those vulnerable moments that you guys get to see how frustrated I could be sometimes.
If our stop run animation has more than half of the animation remaining, so less than halfway through the animation, then we'll transition into the run state. So what we can actually do is just grab all this stuff here and Control C it, and I'll go back to this one right here, paste this in, plug this in, and we'll change this to a greater equal. So this might sound a little bit confusing, but just one more time for clarity. If the time remaining on our jog.
Well, let's see what this looks like. I don't think it's going to look good, but we'll see. It's like do. Yeah, it doesn't look too good, and then the stop seems very delayed. I think it's because it's like I'm doing the walk, or I'm doing the run, going into the walk. So I do start movement. Let me go back to the actual animation here. Let's put the music back on for now. I recreate the BP door and works funky for the orientation import, so I want to know what the correct workflow is. Z up, X forward, or minus X. UI5 works with Z up and X forward, right? When I start a default project, all is minus X, even the camera looks the inverse. I can't find answers on the net. My viewpoint door slides to the right or to the left and the left to the right. Using get X vector, but U doesn't have a left vector. Sorry, I can't spend too much time trying to answer that question, but feel free to others to answer. Or write into our Discord, we can figure it out later. I'm kind of just knee deep into this. So right now I'm doing run combat start, so maybe I have to do walk combat start. Yeah, and that run stop is not that great. But that looks pretty good. Let me put back strafing. I don't know why I can't select this variable. Select this variable, please. It should look fucked up now. So once the strafe is not, gotta bypass it for the time being. Looks funny. Yeah, I know, but when you import a character rig, it must be X, positive X, right? I'm not sure. Like, for example, my character, the one that I have, he's facing this way. He's rotated 90 degrees on the yaw. I think that's just how it is. So yeah, walk start makes sense here, and then the combat stop. I gotta figure out why that feels so delayed. So let's look at our base locomotion. I should be able to debug this. So if I say, so what am I using? I'm using speed 2D, right? So I'm gonna give myself speed 2D. I'm gonna set this to 600. And then I'm gonna say as velocity so it's here, and then I'm gonna say stop. It seems like it works fine, but in practice I don't think that makes sense. So I'm assuming, because yeah, it's based off velocity. Maybe I have to say has acceleration. Let's just see what this looks like. We also turn off strafing again. I guess I could also print out the speed. Let's see what we get. Yeah, so the issue is it has deceleration. So that's why it's like that. So I wonder. I'm going to print out my last input vector. We do get that kind of stuff, so I wonder if I can use that. I could just say input vector length. But then maybe here, from movement to stop movement, I could say does not have velocity. I wish it would stop. There you go. Or equals 0. Still doesn't feel very responsive. Is this a node plugin you're using? Yes, it is. It's a combination of electronic nodes plugin and darker nodes. I'm gonna have to debug this on one monitor here. I gotta see what this base graph is doing. I'm in start movement, then I'm in there. Well. Okay, so it's going back and forth between these two states because it's checking if it has velocity. Vector length has this thing. And I guess I can use Lyra as an example to see how they actually have this like should move thing. So maybe we can look at that example real quick. So in theory, I could just say this. Have to do it here, right? Maybe that'll look better. I'm starting. Stop. Yes. So that looks better. There's still issues with turning around and everything. At least the start and stops look okay. Also, you know, we're gonna have to. So that's like the run. So that's why I think I need to have blend spaces. So yeah, I just want to look at Lyra real quick. I want to verify what they're doing. So yeah, that I gotta see what makes sense here. Like, bam. Like that second attack doesn't feel very strong. It kind of does, but bam, 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 bam. I also don't know if I kind of like the pause in the air in the third hit of the combo. So it's like bam, bam, bam. But the example combo that I'm getting this from has a fourth step in it. And it's in between here. It's like it goes bam and then double hit and then the spin and then like this. But it feels not that bad. I don't know what you guys think about the animations, how this looks. Let's look at the Lyra example. Do I have the animation blueprint open? That's the layered base, unarmed layers. They have turn in place. Atom set idle, starts and stops. I don't really have anything simple. So maybe it, yes, this might be difficult to read. They have, it's not event, yeah, it's thread safe. So I'll have to look at this to make sure that things are thread safe. So blueprint thread safe, update functions, skeletal control data, disable and IK. Is there a should move? Highlight the current acceleration, distance match to target, advance time by distance matching. Seems like a lot. Maybe we don't need it. But I think input vector length is good enough. So again, I think I need to have maybe just a one-dimensional start blend space, and then I would need like a two-dimensional stop, because you could stop while walking and stop, but like every time you start, you kind of start from walk. Wham. Unless, like, I want to use, like, maybe I would want to use, like, stick input threshold So it would go like 0 to 1. Not sure, honestly. As it go like bam. Like, I honestly don't think there should be a transition there, like from here to here. I feel like this should just go to idle. So if I go like, you know, you'll get some funky stuff, but that's not terrible. And I don't think most people care. So yeah, let's make a blend space. I think I can more or less duplicate our movement blend space. Is there a way to access this particular blend space? So walk, run. I'll do BS. Walk, run, start. What I'm hoping is, yeah, direction would stay the same, but I would rename this to input threshold. And can I just make this like 0 to 1? No. So I care, go to stop, and idle. That doesn't look good, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you're gonna look me in the eye and tell me that doing like that looks like okay. He's just, you know, kind of air humping. Disagree. Hard disagree. Change animations? No, I'm good. So I am missing a transition though from movement to stop. Why does this work? Okay, so I lost some transition there on accident. Did I move something that I wasn't supposed to? So we gotta go to movement to stop movement. So for me, the attacks are working well, but about the impact of the second attack, it could be happening because the enemy goes away too much after the first attack. Yeah, I definitely need to play around with how much like knockback and stuff, because eventually they'll be dictated with animation. Right now, you know, it's just the dummy, so like I'm just having him get pushed back. So maybe each attack could have like a threshold of like how much they're gonna move them, you know. So we'll have to see. I think this one is as simple as that. Equals 0. Guess I could do like nearly. I've spent the last month working on my silly locomotion. It's brutal. I can only imagine. Locomotion's so tough. And we're back here. Bam. But now I gotta do, let's try to do our starts and stops. So I just need to figure out how I want to handle the start and stops. Like, do I want to make separate, like, one-dimensional blend spaces and just do, like, another switch with them to see which one to use? Maybe that's a better idea. Hey, thanks for the subscription there, Emmanuel Guaco. Much appreciated. So I think what I want to, I'll have separate start stops. I'll make it a one-dimensional, I think. Not standalone. I always forget the name of the skeleton. I'll just duplicate this. So, being awesome, just go walk, start. Here. I think they have one-dimensional still, actually. But it's under legacy, so I don't know. Do I just leave the one axis empty? I'm surprised you're using Blendspaces for this. I don't want to be using motion matching anymore. That's what you're referring to. It was just causing more problems with motion warping and everything like that, and I kind of wanted to drop it. Like, I guess potentially I could still use like pose search data and just drop animations in and maybe rely on that. That could be a path forward. Because I think you can just drop in animations into the pose search data and it could technically work, but let's look at our walk starts. So 180s, we'll go to either side. And then forward would be in the middle. Walk 45, left, walk right. So it doesn't really have to have a speed or anything, it could all be down there. I don't use motion matching too. I'm using the Lyra way. It uses distance matching. Yeah, I looked at Lyra as well. I don't know. It just seems overly complicated. I wanted to just start simple, and then if I need to expand, I'll expand. I don't see a point of getting too technical with this kind of stuff. Feel free to disagree. But that should be enough. Oh yeah, I mean, you make a good point though. You know, looking at Lyra, it does some cool stuff. Maybe I'll revisit it. I don't know. I kind of want to just take it at my own pace, you know. Start movement. Now we should be able to do walk starts. Calculated direction, speed doesn't really matter. So in theory, there shouldn't be a change. There is this like noticeable pop. Maybe that has to do with like the transition rule. He used 0.5, I put it to 0.35, maybe that's required for it to look good. And still kind of a visible pop, but we'll see what the general results we get are here, and then we can look at the Lyra example, maybe. We could say that for next week. So we got the walk start. So start movement, and I think we have to do like blend space by, or was it blend by bool? And we could say input vector length greater than 5. Say less than 0.5. I found the fix, a simple -1. Classic. Thanks for the follow. About time, Pavrific. What are you talking about? Even in our Discord forever. Let's see. Now that we have a walk start, we could do a run start. Should be able to just do the run versions of it. So. That. We'll do run start. See. Yeah. That was wonky. Whoop. That looks fun. Hey, Vinny Guerrero. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thanks for popping in. I get some wonky stuff still. Let's look at our briefing logic. I just want to see if the start and stops work accordingly there. Okay, so that looks weird. So what are we playing? So we're still playing forward. So when I'm going to the right. So why is that? Okay, so this is the run start fast. Back left. Alright, I think I fucked this up. So back start. left. I need right 90, right 45. Do I get better results at all? Is it a gamepad specific issue, that wonky rotation? I mean, is keyboard fine? Well, so far keyboard is better. So let's check now. Seems better now. I think it was just an issue with the animations. But obviously, yeah, the start, like the stopping as well is wrong. But we can work on that. Walk, stop. Read everything, and then we do walk, stop. So you drop motion matching? Just curious on your thoughts on it. Yeah, I dropped motion matching only because of the stuff that is mentioning about motion warping. I was getting bad results with motion warping, and I found because of this offset root bone thing, it says when a montage plays, we release the offset. However, the release in conjunction with motion warping in the montage might cause undesired movement. So I was getting just sometimes the motion warping wasn't rotating fast enough, and I was getting issues and inconsistencies there. So I kind of wanted to drop it and move on to just starting at basics with Blendspaces. But Perfect made a good point. Maybe we can look at distance matching once we kind of get things understandable what we want to try to do. Using Lyra as the example. I don't know if I have Lyra assets in here, but we can always open up the project again. But yeah, like it's definitely a good system. I just don't know how to fix that issue with the motion matching. So I assumed, like, you know, it'll be fixed in later iterations based on this. So maybe it's okay in 5.7, for example. But for now, it's not. So that's just kind of where we stand. Let's walk. Let's see. I heard the offset root bone node can be mimicked with 2 rotate bone workaround, but I haven't found a clear example yet. Mainly a turn in place issue. Maybe I'm just doing stuff wrong because I got frustrated there. But I would need to update the animation database anyway. But we'll just have to see. So stop movement, walk, stop. And run, stop. ChatGPT says to fix, you have to put all in +X anim and skeleton. I mean, it's hacky, but some friends told me it worked the same results. Interesting. Let's see, run, combat, stop. That should be okay. Unstop. Unposes by pool. I wanted to potentially velocity or speed 2D. I should use. Say if it's less than 100. Let's just see. Seems like it's still playing forward. Here. Excuse me. So right now it's gonna fuck it up. So it's always playing stop forward. Yep. Back. And for some reason it's always doing walk stop forward. Is it because the calculated direction is 0 because I'm not moving anymore? And maybe that's not a good idea. Let's look at, because like in general it looks okay, but you know, it's not the best. See, we want to go for the best. Oh yeah, let's look at the library example as suggested. So again, it looks complicated. I remember I looked at it before. For me, it looks fine. Much appreciated, but yeah, we gotta try to do better. So let's see what happens. Yeah, let's mess around for another like 20 minutes or so. Man, these streams go by so fast. Yeah, there is this motion matching and updating motion matching. It uses the post search databases. Checks the movement mode, checks the stance, which is what? Crouch, movement mode, idles, and everything. So I wonder if we can use motion matching, but then we don't use the offset bone thing. So the offset bone dynamically applies an offset to the character root bone in order to keep the mesh more planted when capsule movement and animation data do not match. And if we look at the Lyra example, you've got the idle state machine turn in place and stuff. You got this, all this stuff. It's like, so it's a lot. Item layers, you got the full body. I'm not much not very good with animations, you know. I'm using a simplified version of Lyra APP, but simplifying my animations. I mean, how did you simplify Lyra, I guess, is my question. So, like, unarmed layers doesn't really have anything, except I think it's in the these overrides and everything. Bus states animation nodes relevant update functions converted to CPP. Fair enough. And of course thread safe, yeah. Which I also have to do. So, yeah, general. Not super happy. You know, things take time. I can share a screenshot in Discord if you want a high level. Yeah, sure. More the merrier for sharing. It'll be appreciated, of course. So let me see if I can make kind of new versions of it. Because again, when I go back into the anim graph and connect everything back up, like, I'll show you what the problem was. Unless it's not a problem anymore. I'm gonna be upset if it's not a problem anymore. I don't know if it's... Okay, that was the problem. I don't know if I can reproduce it. It was there for a second. Yeah, that. It wasn't snapping. But you see how it doesn't rotate correctly? So, oh, I had this issue. Inertialization node fixed it for me. Okay. Because I think I have inertialization somewhere here. So do I also have to add inertialization to the montages? Which I do have. But is my inertialization... You also need to set groups to it. Okay. It's like right now it does the default group. Is that not enough, or... Reset and become element tag, blend in profile. I should try using dent blending instead of inertialization for better blends. Is that a node in dead blending? We can see if that makes a difference. So let me see if I can... So far, it's being more consistent. So I wonder if I can just throw out everything I just did and just throw stuff into motion matching and it'll be okay. So bam, bam. Like, he does have a little bit of still awkwardness. Like, that was awful. But I don't know if it's because I have time dilation. And I'm just finding issues because I'm in time dilation. No, see, that's the problem. I don't like that. And I don't know how that could be inertialization or anything like that. I think it has to do with post search, or not this offset root bone, because if I don't do that, for example, honestly, I'm gonna get... I don't know if I'm gonna get issues, really. But see, I'm gonna be rotating. Hold on, what's wrong? Is it because the offset root bone stopped? Oh boy. I'll share with you on Discord private message. Sure. Much appreciated. But yeah, just in general, that does not look good. But maybe I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, you know? That's the original problem that I was trying to solve. Like, if I don't use inertialization and I take it off of the attack here, standard, does it still happen? Yes. And that I'm just kind of frustrated with, you know? And it doesn't happen like if you're just doing a basic kind of combo. It's happening only at the very beginning. I can always like ask, Chat GPT and like the internet, like what the fuck, and how to fix it. Because again, it's with the rotation mode. Also, I don't need this thing anymore, I don't think. We can just see what information Google gives me. So someone seems to have found it. So download, open the official project game animation sample, open CP Sandbox character, and open the enable update rate optimization skeletal mesh component. Let's see if this guy had the same problem. So enable update rate optimizations. Thanks a lot, Vinny. I appreciate that. So is this mostly a multiplayer issue? Open health, it's not perfect, but I got movement as smooth as gas. That's what was impressive, man. So unfortunately, there's no easy way to solution to fix this effectively. The logic that applied the counter rotation or translation to the root bone needs to run every frame, not just on the frames when the animation graph evaluates. That's a fundamental issue with the current implementation of this logic, since it lives within the anim graph, and we aren't guaranteed to do an animation graph evaluation if URO or the budget allocator means that evaluations aren't on every frame. I wonder if I have that rotation rate optimization thing. If true, owner will determine how often animation will be updated and evaluated. This allows to skip frames for performance. So always tick pose and refresh bones. Yeah, seems fine. I'll see if anybody has any sort of issue with it. Seems like initialization is fine. Oh, excuse me. We could try dead blending and see what happens. Blend mode. Do like that. I don't think that's going to be an easy fix, you know? Like, that was awful. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's really bad. And it's always from idle. Like, oh yeah, maybe I gotta live with. I don't want to say I gotta live with it, but I feel like maybe it could be done better. Get offset translation, half-life. Like, it's all in here. Like, get offset rotation method. Rotation half-life, maybe. It controls how fast the rotation offset is blended out. Maybe I can make that 0? But then let me also and sequence here. So combat idle. Maybe that's the fix. I don't know. In the last 10 minutes, let's speed run. Some stuff, because yeah, there's pivots and stuff. I don't know if I need, yeah, there's all this pivot stuff. I don't think I need pivot stuff. You can see what it looks like. It's probably gonna look stupid if I adjust stuff, but let's see. So let's do let's do it again. So there's walk loops, right? Let's disable. Let's go to my animation. So combat, walk, loops. See if I could just grab them, put them in. Do these need root motion now? Yeah, probably. Fun stuff. Enable root motion. And I don't think I could simply just enable root motion on these. So I think we're gonna start from square one. One of these has this one has root motion. I just want to see if sending that blend time. So, oh, but wait, you're still using choosers. I thought about that, but for now I'm using sequences and blend spaces still. Well, I mean, yeah, the original gameplay example project was using choosers, so I'm trying to do the same there. But, yeah. I'm gonna check. It feels like I fixed the problem. Because now it feels snappy. And I'm not getting that problem anymore. So now I gotta re-import all the animations again. I just don't know if I can get it to really look good, because there's a lot of animations supported in this gameplay animation sample project, and I don't think it's going to work for a lot of these, like, dates and everything. And I'm not sure why I'm getting some of these problems. There is this access none issue as well. Maybe I could just do inertialization again. I get this twitch still as well. He's like, bam. I wonder if can this be like 0.05 and it's okay? Clamp to rotation velocity. Let's try a couple settings just to see what we get, but do I get, like, you kind of feel like cameras getting messed up, right? I started working with the gas animations, but I felt like it was taking longer than I expected to look good, but it's not as out of the box as it sound. So I wanted something I could prototype faster. Yeah, I mean that's a solid point. Okay, so now the rotation's always kind of fucking up. So let's not clamp. Yeah, that still feels responsive. So it feels like when I made this value, it was 0.2 by default. So a 0.2 value seems like it's what was causing the problem. As you could see. So maybe motion matching is back on the menu, boys. But we just gotta make this a value of like 0.05 or something, or even 0, but maybe 0.05 is enough. But now we gotta just make, you know, the motion matching probably simpler. Like, that feels fine to me. I don't know what you guys think. It looks okay. So yeah, what we're gonna have to do next time is, once again, retarget our animations for the third time. And use the root motion one and inject it into our motion matching set. And maybe we can use the example they have because they have like a simplified version of it. And ours will probably be simplified because they have like a lot of stuff like these pivots and everything. And something's wrong with like the root motion with like some of these pivots and shit. Like we'll have to see what's going on there, but in general, I think we're in a decent spot to kind of move back to where we were. You know, sometimes I think I completely jump the gun sometimes with these things. You know, classic Devin move with these things. But yeah, I think what we'll do to close out the stream, let's make the fourth sequence here. We'll have to import another because this is technically the third sequence here. Let's open the third sequence. Apply it here. Delete those. Copy them from here. Damn WWW art. Well, yeah, all of the art is, you know, marketplace access. So, sorry to disappoint. Yeah, here's the third sequence, right? So this is the true second sequence where he goes like bam bam. Should be able to just do that, and we're gonna have to adjust. So it's gonna be like bam, bam. So the motion warping is gonna be all types of kind of fucked up. We're gonna have to just see. We'll see what this looks like in practice. So it's gonna be like, and then another one. Wham, wham. And I'm wondering if we can... something to that effect. It's gonna look super slidey, but again, maybe it doesn't matter. Now we should be able to go into our state tree. Thanks for the subscription there, Rajiv. Much appreciated. Who says animations and notifies are not about trial and error? Couldn't be more wrong. True. True, true. We're also going to have to update our combo stuff here. So let me duplicate. We're going to say light 4. We're going to make a new tag. Still 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5. Oh, no, wrong one. Here. And then we go into our combo. Just duplicate this, make combo 4. We tell you, we go to combo 4. And you can stay to combo 1. So let's see if this worked. So that almost. So yeah, we're gonna have to update this one to be combo light 4. Now it should work. A wham, bam, 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 bam. So next, the issue is it's not doing any sort of warping, and I think that's because there needs to be motion on this. So bam. That looks pretty good, like bam. Let's look at it in practice now. Like the double hit definitely feels too fast, but looks pretty cool. I don't know what you guys think. Feels like it's maybe too fast. I don't know how readable it is. Looks nice. Is the state tree already in UE or is it a separate plugin? I think you still have to enable it as technically a plugin, but yeah, it's used with UE. So wham, maybe. Yeah, I feel like the second, well now third hit, this one is too slow. I want to add a time warping. To make it faster from like here to there. I want this to be maybe go from 2 to 1. Let's see how that looks. So it's like that feels nicer. Let's see if in practice if it feels nicer. Are you using the gameplay camera system? I'll have to relearn camera setup. I guess. Yeah, I'm not. I also got to learn that, I think. Right now, it's just like a basic camera. I also wonder, just quickly, because I know I want to end in a moment. I want to know if this rotation half-life, is this what's causing some of this issues that I'm seeing when I'm just navigating around? No. Okay. Good. No, it's experimental. All good. I can get rid of that, I think. I don't think this doesn't have to go into default slot again, does it? I also don't know why it jitters like that either. Oh, did I delete inertialization or something? I remember I fixed this issue with like why it was kind of jittering because it's like always stopping. Maybe I have a variable. Those are my functions. What am I doing? Variables. It could also be in my update essentials. Oh, maybe it's also because I'm not using the root bone or something. Maybe that's fucking some stuff up. I probably don't need to calculate direction anymore. Is something true that shouldn't be true? So on ground, movement mode, on ground, idle. The last frame is set to moving. Let me just see if that fixes it at all. No. So yeah, I think we just gotta inject our new animation set. And I think I can put this back to how it was. Let me also just make sure that this is okay, and then we'll call it a day. And then we'll know how we need to move forward. Because another thing I could possibly do is just override the right hand with this like idle pose and just blend in what the arm is doing or something, just so you don't get these kind of movements. But that looks pretty cool. Learning a lot, trial and error, you know. But I'm, feeling a little bit better. Then yeah, I want to do jump and double jump and everything. And yeah, we're gonna have to redo our dodges because I want it to be rolls. There's a whole mess of things we're gonna be doing. But that's where I cut it. I've been streaming for 2 hours, so that's where I'm gonna end it. Let's see how many people are watching here on Twitch. We got 4 people. I think we can do a raid. We could do first Crimson. So thanks for watching, everybody. It's all much appreciated. Thanks to Prolific, and thank you to Vinigiro, and thank you to everyone for talking and hanging out. It's always appreciated to get you guys' feedback and your help with all of this stuff. So continue learning, continue growing. Have a good weekend, and I'll try to stream maybe during the weekend. I'm not sure. If anything, next week. So take care. Have a good night.